I'm going to change, or I should say I have changed the wiring harness for a 2009 Can-Am SM5. This is the manual transmission model. And getting to the wiring harness involves you taking off a couple of the sides of the bike, trike, roadster, as you would put it. And it's not as complicated as you would believe. And I've searched YouTube videos over and over again, trying to figure out exactly how to take this wiring harness out, or exactly where the wiring harness is located. And I couldn't find a video at all that showed me exactly how to do it. I went to a cycle shop, and my bike has been giving me a lot of complications, throwing a lot of codes, can't figure out what it was. And they told me at the tune of $3,000 that they would have to first change the wiring harness, and then we would do the module, the calibration module, which is a piece that hooks all the way inside here, all the way deep inside the guts, inside the belly, right up under here. And it's pretty deep. Actually, it's sitting right there. And that piece right there is this piece of the wiring harness that you would buy, which is this piece right here that you would purchase, along with the rest of the pieces that come with the wiring harness. So what I did is I bought the wiring harness at $3,000. The cycle dealer was telling me that they would replace the wiring harness. Bought it for $186 and replaced it myself. So it's a pretty simple job, but complicated in some sense, in the fact that you have to fish for these plugs. And it's a plug and play. That's all it is. It's a plug and play. One of the most difficult wires is the one that goes deep up, which is this one. It goes, so after you connect it right up in there, which goes right there, it goes up into where the ignition is. That's very difficult to get to. So you're gonna have to fish for that. So what I did is I replaced the entire harness myself with absolutely no help. Just taking off the pieces on the side, bunch of clips, bunch of screws, and laying the wiring down on my bike and doing a plug and play, so to speak. Okay, so the wiring harness comes in one full piece. I had to cut the piece off to try to get it out in a complicated area where it was sitting. So the wiring harness came in a whole piece that looks like this, minus the piece, of course, that's cut. So that's the entire wiring harness right there. And I said before, this piece starts up in the engine, because I didn't know exactly where it started, how to do it, but that starts in the engine there. You can start basically from wherever you wanted to start, but what I did is I started with these pieces, and these pieces, that is. Let's shake it down a little bit here, get it together. I started with these pieces that are right here, located right here. So all you have to do is pretty simple. This piece, which you see is cut off, lays right up inside of here, deep inside the belly, so to speak. And it's located right up inside, next to the that piece that goes onto the module. So this piece right here is that piece sitting up right inside of there. See it? Okay, so that runs right there, and then you just have to trace all the rest of the wires and connect them. Plug and connect. That's all you have to do with all the rest of the pieces. So you're running this from up in here and you're tracing this down to over here, and then you just keep plugging away. And the pieces run in this direction. Here's another piece here. There is a piece, a long wire, and you'll see it, which would be this wire right here to the wiring harness. Let's see, that might be going on the other side. Yep, that's the right one. But this one right here runs all the way down to the underbelly and down below, right down there, and connects right there. See, the wires are kind of almost like color coded in essence, and you can definitely see, if you see the matchup, that goes to there. And then it's just a sort of plug and play. There's one wire that runs all the way under where the seat compartment is, and once again, it's a plug and play, and you have to watch every single piece of wiring that you have and just run it accordingly. Once you have it laid out, it's relatively easy, and it will save you $3,000, my friend. That's what this particular cycle shop wanted for this harness right here. So you just lay it out and you plug it in, piece by piece. Plug it in. Pretty simple. Some of these pieces have the clips right here, and then you just push them in and release it. And when you're putting it back on, you just push it in and it will snap in place. Pretty easy. It's relatively easy. It is a little time consuming, don't get me wrong, because you have to make sure that you're doing it properly. But most of all, you have to make sure that these clips, you hear them snap. Once they snap in place, you'll pretty much have your whole entire wiring harness connected. And this is what the wiring harness looks like. Complete. Not a bad job, not a long, lengthy job. This particular wire here goes up underneath the front where the, what should I say, the speedometer goes, okay? So this long wire, after you connect this to the module, goes up underneath, all the way up under, and all the way on the other side of the body. And as you do this, as you clip this and unclip it, you'll see exactly where the wires go. It's pretty commonsensical, you know, in essence. It's not difficult to do. It's not a hard job. It's going to take you a couple of hours, but this will save you thousands and thousands of dollars. You plug it back up, you see what you got, and then you move on from there. With mine, I still have to now remove the ECM, the calibration module. Once that is complete, she should be running fine. But look, I saved myself $3,000 and change in just doing this wiring process myself. So what the dealer said was that they would connect this wiring harness first, find out whether or not the wiring harness worked, and then we'd move on to the module, the calibration module. Well, the wiring harness didn't work. Now I have to go to the ECM. This is why I'm telling you that this is a process that you guys can use to save hundreds, thousands of dollars, which is what I saved. That's what I would have spent, and I would have had to spend more because now we have to do the ECM. Can't find it on YouTube. I guess you can find it now, but simple. Shop for it, get a good price. This particular one I got brand new. It was just an open bag, but everything was on the bag. You could tell that it wasn't used, None of the wires were frayed. They plugged in exactly how they were supposed to plug in, right on eBay. By the way, subscribe. I do have a channel. You can watch a couple of my other videos. Pretty informative.